Hello, it's Moira here from a sunny Scotland, and I have decided to speak to you from the full-on sunshine of my garden today. It's very rare in Scotland for us to have this. So I wanted to speak about cognition today in human design. If anybody is listening that doesn't know their human design and would like to, you are welcome to send me a message. So in my human design chart, my cognition is smell. And I am an emotional projector with an undefined spleen. So I have root, solar plexus, and ego defined. And I don't have splenic awareness. However, smell cognition runs from the root through the spleen and up to the ego. And every cognition has a pathway through the body graph. And I have sometimes been asked, why did you do that instinctively? How did you know to do that? And I've realized through an experience I had that it was my cognition, it was smell. And it's interesting because I didn't smell anything. I am very aware of smell and alert to it. And I definitely don't trust people who are bathed in false perfumes. I like to smell the real person. And I had really understood my cognition to be in that kind of limited time frame. And I live with my last daughter, who is a 3-5. So she's always bumping into life. She's always making decisions and choices that bump into life. And it has led us into some quite extreme circumstances. So one of the ones I'm going to tell you about, I'm going to share with you today, is that a few years back we had a fire in the house. So I had always burnt candles on the kitchen table. And she had liked this, so she had started moving the candles off the kitchen table and putting them all around the house, in the bathroom, in the front porch, on low tables. And one Christmas, she put them beside some very bright lights that didn't go out. And I didn't see the flame because the light was so much brighter than the flickering of the candle. And it was beside a glass jar with oil. So through the night, the candle burnt down, it burnt the oil, and we had a mini fire that my sense of smell woke me up to, and I put it out. But before that, as she was moving the candles all around the house, I kept having what I can only describe as tiny hits. You must say something, you must say something. The candles mustn't migrate, you must say something. And I never said anything. And part of me was processing it through my much slower system. And so there are these two systems that kind of move together. So my emotions that take this long time to make a decision about where I'm going to go, and then this splenic intuition that is a hit and is almost like a warning of safety for me. And I had ignored them, and I probably have followed them when I'm on my own and can just do so. But when I'm with somebody else, I feel the hit, and then I don't follow it because I process it slowly. Because I remember that I thought, I must speak to her, I must speak to her, I must speak to her. And I didn't. And I didn't really understand it as my cognition. until last week, when the two of us were out walking. And we go to this absolutely beautiful woodland place with paths through lovely fields and down through the woods to the river, and there's a vast variety of paths. It's as romantic as you could get, and there's a little house there that I always think, oh, that's such a darling little house, so I like to walk past it. And we paused outside the house, and there was this really unattractive path in front of us. It was through a field, there were no trees, it didn't look appealing in any way, shape or form. And she said, let's go down here. And I had that intuitive hit that said to me, no. But I didn't listen to it because I didn't truly understand what it was. It was only afterwards that I was able to say, that is my cognition coming through the spleen. That is my splenic hit of awareness. And in a sense, my body was telling me that that path didn't smell good. And it didn't. We went on and we passed an enormous, what looked like a pile of mud. And it was on our left-hand side, and it must have been about 30 feet long. And on the other side of it, we were distracted by two beautiful geese. So we called the dog in until the geese had flown away. We walked on a little bit with the dog free, and there was a sign that said, danger, quarry. Warning, danger. I mean, you couldn't find within 10 minutes or 7 minutes the warning inside me, followed by an external sign that said warning. And it was an enormous sand quarry. So we turned back and we passed this huge pile of mud on our right. Only it wasn't a pile of mud. We didn't know that then, but we had lost the dog. And the dog didn't come when we called, which was very strange because she's never far from me. And then we heard her crying, oh, oh, oh. And we ran back and we ran up straight to where she was. We weren't even thinking at that point. Our bodies were just moving. And there was the dog, and the wall was not a straight wall. It was a circular wall that had created a pond. And in the pond was slurry, shit, for the farmers' fields. And the dog couldn't swim in it. She was stuck. And my 3-5 daughter put her foot in. She was ready to go down into it like an arrow. And again, my body moved swiftly to stop her. And I lay down on this wall and hoiked the dog out. So all my instincts were moving fast and quickly, and we got away with it. But because of the heightened sense of danger of the situation, when I came to think of it afterwards, I truly recognized for the first time that that feeling, that splenic awareness that this was an unhealthy route to take. And it's not the first time I felt it, but it is the first time that I've looked at it and understood exactly what was inside me and what I was seeing. So although it's not my guidance authority for making a decision about who I love or where I live, I still have to wait out an emotional wave for that one. It does guide me moment by moment by moment when it chooses to. And it's a very, very useful thing for me to have, especially now I recognize what it is. And I'm going to be able to speak up from that moment and say, I get it. I understand what this is inside me. So I feel very grateful that we got away from all those dramatic situations. We survived them. We're here. Nobody was harmed. And the instinct that I had ignored also drove me to save both situations. So life is an adventure, and it's very interesting. The thing that I will say that saves me and my daughter constantly is our laughter. We laugh and we laugh and we laugh. And we release a lot of tension by laughing, and we find a lot of enjoyment through laughing. But I will be careful in the future. So if you have instincts like that and you want to relate them to your human design, drop me a message, because I'm curious about who else has found this in their body and listens to it and has it so clear. Thank you very much for listening. I do really hope that you'll follow me, because I enjoy having you follow me, and I really enjoy engaging with you in the comments. So the subscribe button is somewhere down there. That's what people say anyway. They say it's somewhere down there, and I'm going to trust the system and hope that it is. Wherever you are, I wish you glorious sunshine. Much love.